Hello, welcome back to another edition of our Average Joe to Betting Expert series, where I'm going to try to show you what it takes to go from an average Joe punter like me up to an elite tipster on Betting Expert. Now, so far after 5 videos, things are going pretty well. As you can see here on the competition leaderboard, I am up to, 31st position so far this month, which does actually give me a shot at a £10 prize. Now, as I work for Betting Expert, I'm not actually going to be claiming that money. We'll be giving it away to the person just below the standings. But anyway, if I were to hold on to that prize. But I feel like it's a good opportunity to just have a quick look back at yesterday's tips. So if you weren't following the channel or weren't following the advice, I did post 5 predictions and 4 were winners. So you can see here, so happy days with those. It boosted up the profit. And what it looks like, as you can see maybe below me in the competition standings, the thing that separates maybe the elite tipsters to sort of average is the volume, it looks like. I've only posted 30 something tips this month, but the guys in around the spots where I am, and if you look at the very top of the leaderboards, they posted over 1,000 tips. So I feel like perhaps we stumbled on some kind of winning strategy, i.e. looking at trends and looking at the favorites in a game, and if you tip on lots of them, then you might do well in the tips of the month standings. But anyway, if you have your own ideas about how to crack in to the top of the standings, then let us know in the comments below. We're going to move on to our predictions for today. I've got 5 more for you, starting off with the Premier League clash between Brighton and Man United. I got a couple from La Liga and also a couple from Serie A. Now, yesterday I did experiment with other sports, so did a basketball tip from Israeli Premier League, which won, and also an esports tip on Counter-Strike. Today's video, I'm not going to feature tips from any other sports apart from football, because I do feel like I know the most. That's the one I'm most passionate about as well. So it should give me a little bit of insight, and let's see how our tips get on. So starting off, as I say, with Brighton against Man United, this for me looks like it should be a pretty straightforward away win. I know Man United did play in the FA Cup against Norwich, so there might be some tired legs, especially after they went to extra time. But there was also a bit of rotation in the squad there. Brighton, yes, they did get that first win of 2020 against Arsenal. But again, it was against an Arsenal side that looked pretty dire after the break. So I'm going to say that United should continue their decent form in the league, and also Brighton's poor form should also come back to normal, as it were. And also with Brighton, they are kind of flirting with the relegation places, and I feel like there are probably easier games coming up. So I know they've got Norwich next, for instance, where they may want to save themselves against Man United. So this looks like a good opportunity for United to get the win and challenge Wolves for the 5th place spot in the Premier League. So here, I'm going to tip up United to win. Already got my analysis written up, and again, I'll post my profile down below as well. If you want to read the analysis more in depth, you can go and do that. Alright, and that tip is now posted. So moving on to La Liga, where we see Mallorca take on CELTA VIGO. Now here, of course, CELTA VIGO in the last game actually made us have a losing tip, because we predicted that Barcelona would beat them. They held Barca to a draw. So of course they're probably going into this one with a lot of confidence. Mallorca, one of the worst teams in the league, and I feel like with CELTA VIGO's form at the moment after the restart, it looks like they should be getting a comfortable away win. They are not odds on, so maybe getting a bit of value here backing the away side at 7-5, around 6-4, and obviously so CELTA VIGO can also essentially secure their safety in La Liga with getting a win as well this one, so they'll be highly motivated. Mallorca do look like a poor side, especially after the restart as well. They've been pretty rubbish. They've lost 4 of the last 5, and I think that's going to continue in this one, so let's go for a CELTA VIGO win, and that tip is now posted. Now, one side that did let us down a couple of days ago was Barcelona, but I feel like Barca should go back to winning ways in their game against Atletico tonight. You actually have to go back 20 La Liga games for the last time that Atletico actually beat Barcelona. And I know they've been starting off pretty well since the lockdown was put to an end. They've won all of their matches in La Liga so far, while Barca, of course, drew with CELTA VIGO. But I do feel that Barcelona will be too strong here. Home advantage should also be key. And if you're ever getting 10 to 11 on Barcelona to win a match at home against anyone, it seems like a pretty decent value pick. So of course they got the strength in depth, the squad there, and the talent to get the win. So we're going to go for a Barca win in this one. And my analysis does make reference to the track record they have against Atletico. And I guess a side note, Barca also want to put more pressure on Real at the top. I can't see Atletico wanting to do Real much favours, but of course they're going to want to win. But I feel like Barcelona should win this one, and that's why I'm going to tip up a Barca win. Now moving on, we go to Serie A, where Lazio go to Torino. And again, this one looks like it should be a pretty one-sided affair, with Lazio trying to put some pressure onto Juve at the top of the table. They are a few points off in the standings, but Torino's form is pretty bad. So yeah, they've only had 1 win in 5, while Lazio have 4 wins in 5. And again, maybe the odds here do look pretty tempting. With 5 to 6 on Lazio, I am going to go for an away win. I think Lazio will be pretty happy just to grind out a 1-0 win as well, so I'd avoid going on the Asian handicap, predicting anything like that. I feel like Lazio should get the win, and I feel like they'll be happy to take the 1-0 if it comes to that. So we'll go for a Lazio win on this one, and let's just post that tip. And the final game we're going to look at today is Genoa against league leaders Juve in Serie A. Now, Juve did us a favour with one of our predictions earlier in the week, where they scored 4. I think it was the 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, which then helped us go over. 3.5 goals our prediction. And I feel like it should be a pretty one-sided affair, this one as well. Genoa aren't showing much form to speak of. Juve obviously want to put themselves even further ahead at the top of the standings, and of course they've got the personnel to do that. Expect Ronaldo to do pretty well in this one, I would have thought. And Juve to win, I feel like they should win by 2 or more goals, so I'm going to avoid just backing them outright. We'll go straight down to the Asian handicap lines and back them -1. So yeah, it's 4 to 6, potentially pretty short, but I do feel like should be a pretty straightforward result. Actually, we're getting 4 to 5 instead of the 4 to 6. Now the odds have changed slightly. So very happy with that. I feel like it's a value pick, and let's see how we get on. So just a recap, I'll just reload my profile. So the 5 tips I'm going to post on my profile today. Starting off with the Premier League game between United and Brighton. We're going to go for an away win there. CELTA VIGO to beat Mallorca. Lazio to beat Torino. Barcelona to beat Atletico Madrid, and Juve -1. Should have gone through. And that's it. Hopefully you've been following the advice so far, because obviously my profile is doing pretty well on Betting Expert. If you've got any feedback, by the way, let me know in the comments below. And if you do place a bet, as always, please do gamble responsibly. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow for another video in our Average Joe to Betting Expert series.